Next job then is to flip it over, which is going to be interesting because it's quite a lot more to it than last time I tried this. Right then, fair bit to do, so I'm just going to let the camera roll and get on with it. All that needs to happen to that is it needs to go tweak like that, and I can put it back. just let that cool off a bit. I don't want to pump too much heat into the end there. While I was at it though, I have remembered something else. This should be a crossmember here, the Gearbox crossmember that I chopped out right at the beginning of this project. This is it here, and I haven't even shot blasted it yet. I'll have to do it later. So this should bolt in there. Obviously it was welded in, and I'm going to make it a bolt and nail one for ease of replacing the gearbox in the future, because it's bound to go wrong. So yeah, so I'm going to have to make up some kind of fixing system for that. No big deal. You can see here the difference between the aftermarket suspension mounting points and the original one I've got. The original one's got nicely radiused corners to it. The other three haven't. I've got some braces to cut out next. There's the one remaining one, which went there. So I need, well, this is alright, but as I've got to make loads of new ones, I might as well replace these two. So I need a pair there, and then I've got to make some slightly different ones that will go here and up over there. And for that I'm going to use the 3mm steel, slightly thicker than what most of So while I'm cutting bits out, I might as well cut out this plate here. So I want something that's the join. I want something to go something like that, sort of diamond shape. And if it'll be go over there. Start that there. Roughly like that. But yes, 4 inches there, 9 across. A loop. That just gives a great deal more surface area for weld to go in and join these two bits together. Everywhere else where it's joined there is already reinforcement, like here. I need another one of those. of welding gas again. I have to dust off the old inverter and try that. So the next and possibly last thing to do while it's upside down like this is to fit this in a way that I can demount it if necessary. So that's how it was on there before I went through it with a 9-inch grinder. Now what I'm thinking is I'll put some 6-inch, say, pieces of 25 by 5 steel coming 3 inches into here and sticking out 3 inches. And then when it's sat there, I'll bolt through into this bit with some 10mm bolts. Now obviously I can't put it in as it is, because if I've got bits sticking out like that, they're going to foul on this. So I think to make it look neat, I reckon I'm going to cut the tops off these brackets, weld the tops onto here, and have that sticking out bit with the holes for the bolts. It'll all make sense. I'll cut some metal and yeah, I'll get on with it, and it'll become apparent as we go along. That's there. There is another reason for cutting this bit off, which I'll show you in a minute. The handy thing about taking this bit off, I've now got access to the inside here, and the reason that's important is because I'm about to drill holes going right through so I can put bolts through. But what I don't want is for when I tighten up the bolts, for the bolts to squeeze these bits in. Now I've got access here, I can put some braces across. So I'll probably just use some more of this stuff actually, it's got plenty of it. So I'll put, where should we go? Just at the end and then one in the middle. I think I'll do fine. The other way to get around that is by sleeving the bolts, by having a cross tube, which would be a piece of pipe or something like that. But that's a bit fiddly. Yes, this will be quite neat, I think, once we get all this done. Doing it this way around as well means that I can drill these holes in the pillar drill before I weld them on to the cross member there. So I'll mark out here. Yeah, get all 4 drilled up. Take it from there.
I think we're there. Now of course I am going to blast this cross member. It'll clean up properly. I will grind it a bit now because the I'll show you. The arc welding's not really as neat as the MIG welding is. Well, not when I do it. So yeah, I'll tidy that up. But this whole thing I'll shot blast before it goes off for galvanising. But in terms of fit, that's there. So I can get bolt through there, same on the other side. So that's 4 bolts holding it in, and I'll have nylocks on the end of them. So I think that's a sensible construction there, and it's minimised the points of failure. So even if one of the bolts fails, it's not just one bolt on each side, is what I'm trying to say. As you can see here, because I've braced the inside, no matter how tight I do the bolts up, it's not going to crush these bits in and loosen the whole arrangement. So yes, I'm happy with that. So with that cross member done, I think that's it for the upside down anyway. I've cleaned everything up. I'm going to have a look around, make sure there's nothing I've missed, and we'll flip it back over the right way up and see what's left to do there. Not a lot, I hope. And we'll also see if it's gone out square. Because over the course of doing all this work, I've pumped a lot of heat into this chassis, and remember, it was perfectly square once I messed about with it. That will be interesting to see what happened there. That looks so sketchy. So I've been around it now with the sander. I've also given it a really close look, make sure there's no bits I've missed, and I can't find any, so that's good. Straighten out that bit there, tidied up these bits. I think it's done. I think it's done. But what I really want to know is it still straight? Is it still square to itself? So let's find out. After putting all that heat in from the welding, it's possible I've distorted it somewhere. Now remember, before, when I checked it for square, we were able to get that twist out of it and get it back in pretty nice. But we're able to do that because
the structure was so weak because there was so much of it missing. Now there's lots of it here, so stakes are high. There's two things I'm going to check. I'm going to check if it's twisted at all, and then I want to check it for square by measuring some diagonals. So we'll check the twist first. So if I put a level on the back here, and if I can make that, if I can make this level, this cross member, I can then check it across the chassis going down. Okay, good. Right, moment of truth. So the rear cross member is now level. So that means everywhere I put the level across the rails, it should also be level. Unless that's happened. Start. So this is across what's going to be the middle of the rear axle. Well, that's not looking good. Yeah, so we've already got a bit of twist in it there. Now, I wonder if it's just there. What I'll do is level the axle instead. Ooh, nearly, yeah. So it's now just within the lines on the rear axle. Looking good there, and there, that's looking good. Up here, yeah, that's reasonable. So that's right at the front, that's actually sat on the dumb irons. The chassis itself, well, I say most of the chassis, is as it was. It's nice and straight. But the rear cross member here is out. Not by much, but it is out. It's out by about 2 mil. It's got a slight twist on it. So yeah, it's slightly twisting that way. That's annoying. Yeah. Now that's interesting. Right, that makes me feel a little bit better. The bottom of the rear cross member is acceptably square. It's the top here that's out. So this part here on the top, that's out, so the bubble is over that way. And I put it down here. Bubble is better. That is irritating. The chassis is pretty much perfect except for that rear cross member, which is about 2 mil out. Right. So that cross member. Okay, as near as I can tell, I think over the whole chassis it's about 4 or 5 mil out of square, and then it's making a parallelogram rather than a rectangle, and it's about 2 mil out just on the rear cross member. Now I'm not that happy about those figures, but I think that's actually within spec for a Land Rover. Here in the manual, the diagonals are much shorter to measure it than what I was measuring, and it says the diagonals between the related measuring points should agree within 9.5 millimeters. So It's not perfect, but it's well within spec. Now the twist is another matter. The whole of the chassis is fine, but that rear cross member is 2mm out. I'm not that happy about that, but there we go. Before I can send this off for the actual galvanising, I do need to drill a load more holes in it so that when it's dipped in a tank of molten zinc, the zinc can drain out again, it doesn't just fill it up. So there's that to be done. Other than that, it's done. So finally, this is the chassis fully welded. And no, it's not perfect, but it's as good as I could get it. Whew. I'm going to call that a win. Catch you next time. Cheers.